conversations with fascinating people leading fascinating lives in the fascinating country of Poland. So we're online again, and I see more and more benefits from being online. And boy, oh boy, have we got a very interesting person to talk to in just a second, Justyna Orlowska, who is the High Representative, I think I said that properly, the Plenipotentiary, that's the other translation, the Pełnomocnik to the Polish Prime Minister. She's working her socks off along with the GovTech team to help Poland fight against fake news, help people perform and work effectively from home, and a whole bunch of other things, including taking tech and entrepreneurial and great ideas from around Poland, brainstorming them in a hackathon, and getting people actually to fight against coronavirus. You've heard about it in other countries. It's happening here in Poland as well. Before we begin, guys, I want to take you just through a little journey in the First News website. So I'm going to send a couple of links during this transmission as well. Make sure you check out thefirstnews.com. It is the premier source for English language news around Poland. We've got incredible stories there, the true story of the men who took on the Gestapo to save a friend 77 years ago. So a trip back there in history. We've got amazing stories about Poles coming up with technology, just basically helping other people. It's truly heartwarming stories of people supporting others. And indeed, we have some great news that Poland has the highest number of hospital beds for the elderly. So there's some great information there about what Poland's doing to help fight against this terrible virus, which is keeping us locked in home. But I don't want to let our VIP special guest wait any longer. So I'm going to invite Justyna to join us now. She's joining in 3, 2, 1. I love this moment. Hello, Justyna.
Hello. Thank you for such a warm introduction. It's a great pleasure to be here and to talk more about what you are doing on a daily basis now, fighting against coronavirus.
It was a warm introduction. I'll give myself 10 out of 10. And I've got a question for you, Justyna. On a scale of 1 to 10, how tired are you right now? 1 being not tired, 10 being very tired.
Minus 10. No. It's I can say that because of such a great overload of work, we are so energetic about fighting against the coronavirus that I don't think about this being tired or something. No, just not thinking. I don't have time for that.
So thank you for making time for us, because I know you are super busy. How many hours are you working a day at the moment? Can you reveal?
Okay, so I am going to sleep for a few hours, but later on we start and working all day and all night.
Okay, well, I sympathise with you. A long time ago, in a journey far away, I worked in the UK government during the last financial crisis in 2008, which now seems to really be insignificant compared to what's happening. Maybe we'll have a chat about that. Let's start, Justyna, by talking about fake news. So last week, I started getting these messages from trusted sources, people telling me that Warsaw was about to get closed down, that tanks were being brought onto the streets, that petrol stations were running out of fuel. There was this explosion of things, and I have to admit, I consider myself to be quite a sensible guy, because they were coming from people who's, friends of friends. They seemed quite reliable, and there was such an information deluge at that time that you start to worry, you panic a little bit. Clearly, we now know that a lot of this stuff was fake news. What is the Polish government? What are you guys doing to fight against fake news?
So Polish press agency, yes, we started working on the tool to find and to verify what is the fake news, what is it. And the whole idea is based on fake hunters, so the volunteers from the society from Poland who are eager to have the first stage of verification, and what we have already done. So we have already recruited. We got several hundred applications to become fake hunter, and
I do like it. I like that title.
Yeah. So hunting this nowadays is like that, hunting fake news, and they are going to next week. On the beginning of the next week, they will be taught how to verify, how to say that this is fake news, this is not. And the second stage of verification, there will be the verification of Polish press agency. So it is a double stage verification. And when it comes to, we can ask, okay, so what GovTech is doing? Okay, so what we have done too is we invited programmers to prepare the tool for people to apply for okay, so anybody in Poland can apply. Okay, so if I do want to know if it is the fake news, and later those two layers will be verifying, and this tool will be launched during next 2 weeks.
This is amazing. In a way, it's one of those things, one of these positives which are coming out of this crisis, which is, hey, why didn't we think about doing that a while ago? Is this an idea you had in mind, or you guys sat down and saw fake news coming in?
So it is, you can see, many people are involved in this procedure. It's not so easy, to give them the machine learning to verify fake news, because most of the times we tackle the challenge of deep fakes. So it's not so easy to teach the machine to verify automatically. And that is why it is not in these times, especially when the panic can arise when some fake news appear. We can involve people, volunteers, to work on that, but or to check anything like any fake news, it is extremely difficult. And you can see that nowhere in the world still we face the challenge how to tackle on daily basis in long run fake news.
So something great and long term may well come from this, which I think is encouraging. There's always a moment when you press play or when you press publish on a press release and information, and then you kind of wait for the first inquiries when you're thinking, how is this going to go? How did you feel when hundreds of people came forward to become fake hunters?
It was, at the beginning, my friend from my team was recording the video, and I was looking, okay, if they accept us or not, that the Polish press agency and the government is looking for fake hunters. But we got only positive messages. So it's like, I can see that when it is so common task, everybody knows fake news, that it is the problem. So then you can you can be accepted with your ideas, and it is so nice that it happened.
Well, it wasn't just last week. There's fake news happening all the time. There was fake news about planes being turned back just recently coming around. Della has already commented that it's great. There's so many theories. No doubt they will continue. If I want to be a fake hunter, is it too late because you have enough hunters?
I need to talk to my team, but already we are before the training, so maybe it is still a possibility to join. I need to check it out, and I will come back to you later.
There's something fascinating for me about the title "Fake Hunter." It's really caught my attention. If you want to be a fake hunter, then of course, Justyna, where should I go? Should I go to GovTech? GovTech
Yes.
Poland. That's
Yes.
That's really fine. So if you want to become a fake hunter, my friends, there's still time. Maybe let's see what the teams say. You didn't have lots of people came forward, and also lots of people came forward for something quite interesting, a 5-day hackathon that you led, essentially brainstorming for great ideas to help with other problems connected to the crisis. Give us a rundown of what happened at the hackathon.
Yeah, so because we were given a lot of applications from startups, programmers with their ideas how to tackle the problem of coronavirus, we came to the conclusion, okay, we are not able to proceed all the messages because it was hundreds of them, and not only to my team GovTech, but also for the Ministry of Healthcare, Ministry of Digital Affairs. And that is why we came to the conclusion that we need one contact point where those ideas can be uploaded, and that is why we came with the idea of the hackathon, and the organizer, it was also the society and the volunteers of programmers. The organizer was one of the Polish software house, and they came to us if we do want to be the main patron of this initiative, and we said of course, and we'd love to be those who will judge those ideas, because we already know what it is done in the government and what is not done and can be done if there will be enough task forces. And now we have 2,000 task force volunteers, programmers who are eager to solve those challenges. And already we are just after the first hackathon that was called Hack Crisis. It was international one. And also we did have Estonian teams, Finnish teams, and now we are just ahead of, okay, so it is the first time I'm saying that in coming days there will be the second hackathon that also you will be able to apply your ideas. So stay tuned, follow GovTech Polska, and on our web, Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and join us.
And just to be clear, this isn't just this isn't just tech people. This is people with great ideas who may need some tech support.
So not necessarily. I can say that because this term hackathon, it's meaning hacking things. So it's not necessarily those hackers black hat hacker, no, white hat hackers, but not necessarily with tech tools. It can be like if you have the idea, like social idea of maybe volunteer project, then also you are invited. There will be 5 categories, so really it's first time I'm saying that. You are the first that get to know that, and you need to see in which category you have the idea. And if you think that, okay, maybe I need programmers to help me, then there will be a common place where you can find your team, friends to the team, with the competencies that you don't have, for example.
I just had a great comment here from Martin, which is keep calm and carry on, which is a very British expression. But here we have an example of how you can use the internet, existing methodologies to bring good ideas. And it's not like 50 years ago, the government had the ideas and implemented them. This is about crowdsourcing ideas. So if you have a great idea which can help your local community, which could be scaled for the country or indeed globally, there is a place where you can go and make that idea turn into a reality. And it could last well beyond this virus. My favorite one was Coronavirus. Which was an application which basically gamified staying at home, which is a genius idea. Gamification works so well in our psychology. And as I was reading it, I was thinking, man, this is an awesome app idea. It's really good with solving a problem, which is especially teenagers have a hard problem staying at home. Now, you've got a couple of other great things that you're doing as well with education, which is really in my patch with 2 children. Talk us through what you're doing to help learners, children, as well as teachers and parents deal with this pretty difficult challenge.
Yeah, it is a huge challenge because it's new for some teachers and students, and that is why we launched the initiative, the action, which is called in Polish Akcja Edukacja, Education Action. So we are promoting in the Society of Teachers, Students, how to effectively spend this time when you are at home and how to effectively learn and teach. And we are open for many initiatives, especially for those who are eager to teach students, both students and teacher, how to use those webinar tools. And we got Polish companies, American companies that are approaching, and they have also volunteers to teach for free, and their tools are available for free within our action. And that's the first point. The second point is that YouTubers and musicians, sport people, they are coming to us to give lessons, to give online. And for example, you also need to stay tuned to listen to great musicians lessons next week. And really, I think
exclusive.
Not yet. Maybe next week. But stay tuned, and also your favorite sports people too.
So I won't trouble our viewers by singing myself, and my children are really tired of my tin whistle practice, which is an instrument that can be very, very irritating. It almost feels like we're overloaded by help sometimes. There's so many different initiatives and things. How do you guys cut through and try and get through to Polish people in order to tell them these resources exist, and to teachers as well? Ironically, we're all at home on our computers or phones, but because of the sheer volume of information, it can be difficult to cut through.
Yes, so we are responding to the challenge, those challenges, and we are listening to the comments. And for example, yesterday, Minister of Digital Affairs just announced that there will be 180 million zloty for buying computers and fast mobile internet for those who don't have it. Next week also stay tuned, because we are working on the project with Polish TVs, Polsat, TVN, and TVP, and also tackling facing this challenge to not only using internet but also TV.
We have a comment we're running this on 2 different channels so we can get to as many people as possible. Joseph, this is so great that there are Polish reporters, hunters getting through this war on fake news. For here in America, we need something like this more from ever. I want to know, has any other country inspired you, Justyna? Have you been looking at the United Kingdom? I always like to promote the UK wherever I can. What other countries are doing well in this regard? Or I'm going to give you a chance to be a little, not arrogant, but kind of confident, let's say. Do you think we're doing a really, really good job in this category?
We weren't inspired by anyone this time, honestly. And it was the idea of together with Polish press agency, we came to the conclusion that that this way will be the best, because there are, like I mentioned at the beginning, there are some machine learning involved, and GovTech loves machine learning and AI. But this time we came because it is so crucial thing, and it is so crucial not to be wrong in this field. So we came to conclusion with this volunteer and society initiative with fake hunters.
Let's talk about how digital Poland was before this began, because I'm hearing a lot of parents saying that, you know, they don't really have the computers for this, or that the teachers aren't really up to the job. It's one thing to have a computer, it's another thing to deliver online. We're all learning for the first time, including the government, including teachers and parents. Suddenly we have 3 jobs: cleaning, cooking, looking after the kids, teaching the kids, and doing our job sometime. I know some parents are only sleeping 3 or 4 hours a night, almost like the GovTech team and the rest of the government, to keep things going. How digital are we? What's the kind of level of digital literacy compared to other countries?
So when it comes to, for example, the statistics that make us to go with this online learning, for example, there are 98 households that possess the internet and the tool and the computer or something that is connected to the internet. But of course, it turned out, and it is obvious that not necessarily every child in the household has a computer. So that is why it is this challenge that okay, so this child or this child should learn. That is why Minister of Digital Affairs yesterday launched this huge buy of computers, etc., for this 180 million zloty. And the second will be this TV on board, because when it comes to statistics, 97 households, so majority has a TV, and then it is not the problem with sharing. Okay, so who is be taught this day from my children? Yeah, but everybody will be able to do that.
Great. Do you think, therefore, are you casting an eye on the future and thinking that obviously every death is a tragedy, every sickness is a sadness, but that there also will be, in a digital sense, some benefits that will come from this experience? Or is it just too early to say at the moment?
I think that it is already happening, and already happened, even, like I say. And I am looking also on our Polish offices, and for example, from day 1 to day 2, it turned out that everything can be accepted via emails, for example, not having papers. And yeah, exactly, one day, you know. So it is happening right now, and it is, for example, another initiative is when it comes to this committees that are meeting in city town halls, etc. And in the act that is today voted by Parliament, it is saying that it is all right to vote online. and online when it comes to those towns committees. And also me as a plenipotentiary of Prime Minister, I launched the action to show. It is called Obrady Online, so like committees online, to show how you to meet with your committee online. And so we are also giving some awards for that.
My dear friends, just make sure that you turn your microphones off or your cameras off before you go anywhere else on your committee meetings. I left my live on for 3.5 hours the other day, and there's a few memes on this subject for various meetings, but it's incredible how sometimes a crisis can bring the best from us. We rally together, we work together. We've had some great examples of how government now is working with other people, and people are coming forward with great ideas. I think that deserves, as we say in Polish, łapki w górę. Make sure you give some thumbs, some hearts, and some smiley faces for Justyna and her team. Justyna, a couple of personal questions. How have you changed in this mega intensive 2-week period? Have you had an aha moment, like a learning which you thought, oh, I didn't know I was capable of this, or this skill that I had in the past has really helped me get through this period?
I can say not maybe I am not capable of that, but the other thing with my team, my GovTech team, it turned out that what we believed believing from the beginning of our existence, it is that we believed always in working online, that it is okay, and we were always talking to our friends from other offices that it is possible, and we are super, I think, even more efficient because you don't need to meet in person with other people, because you can just have a phone or something and here to meet with you, and it is amazing because you are able to do more, and I am happy for that. And you can call someone at 10 p.m. also, and they answer, and you can still okay. I love my job, that is why I'm talking about such hours too, but so I can see that not only my team, because my team always were able to do those to work online, but my friends at other offices too, and they finally understand that it is okay.
So in order for this interview to be successful, I had to stick my head out the window about 5 minutes before we began and shout at the man who's got like a digger machine saying, please, not in the next 20 minutes. I've got quite an important person talking. Justyna, I know you've got a very busy day ahead of you, and we're super grateful for your time talking about this, especially the fake hunters thing, but all the other things you guys are doing. There's become a bit of a meme online about politicians and people with bookcases in the background. I've got mine over there, deliberately out of sight because I've got some interesting books. You've got your bookcase. I'm interested, what book would you recommend from the books behind you to read about Poland?
About Poland, okay, so
yeah.
I can see. Okay.
Or are they all techie books?
Twierdza in Polish. So it is about our Prime Minister's solidarity, fighting solidarity. I think it's Igor Janke's book, and it is very important to get to know how was the story not only of solidarity but also from fighting solidarity. And
I've got the book
here.
This is one of those classic online moments where I want to tell you that I've got the book, and then I realize that I'm connected to a cable and pull the whole cable out. I had the book as well. It is really, really interesting. It's not something I knew about. I read it last year, well, before I interviewed the Prime Minister. Okay, I'm already 5 minutes over time. You're probably going to send me a digital alert on my computer that I've gone over time. So Justyna, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm relying on your team to drop in the comment section as well. We wish you a nice day and maybe even a bit of a rest this weekend, but no walking in parks or collecting on Warsaw streets with other people, okay?
Okay.
Great. Sounds like a deal. Thank you very much, Justyna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you.
Okay, well, I got rid of Justyna really quickly. She has to go off. She's got a whole day of government meetings as well. So just remind you that we have a whole host, well over 70 really interesting in-depth discussions with people who are leading fascinating lives in Poland on the Heart of Poland program. And you can find them on The First News, thefirstnews.com, as well as The First News on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. It's everywhere. If you want to look for information about Poland and you want to send fascinating stories on, then really there is no better place. We do a huge amount of in-depth discussions with interesting people, whether it's business, to history, to the current crisis, to all manner of things. It really is the best place to go. So make sure you share this episode with anyone you think might be interested in the fascinating country of Poland. And I'll see you again for another fascinating discussion. Boy, oh boy, have we got an interesting guest for next week. But unlike Justyna, I don't reveal exclusives live, so you'll have to wait and check out the First News channel next week. So I'll see you again for another online episode of Heart of Poland.